I think it's a disgrace that any city employee would be going for 2 years without a contract, especially our teachers.
Hold that microphone a little bit closer, please.
And it's 1 year, by the way.
It shows a lack of leadership and a complete disregard to the value of our teachers. So I'm hoping that the issue is settled before November. That's all I can say.
Bob DeRobio, you're next on the same question.
Well, I believe that when we negotiate contracts, it has to be not determined at the end of the contract cycle, but certainly within that 9 or 8 month time frame prior to the contract ending. That way we can reach consensus on a number of issues prior to getting into the problem of either returning to work or going without a contract. So we have to do a lot of consensus building with the teachers or with any union within the City of Providence. We have to begin negotiations before the contract expires. We have to sit down at the table and put the issues on the table and reach some type of agreement on a number of those issues. And it's even possible to have contracts that automatically roll over for an additional year while the main part of the contract stays in place. A lot can be done to prevent the situation that we have before us. I was out at the schools this morning. Here are kids coming in with smiling faces, backpacks, new clothes, ready to start learning. And here are teachers waiting outside the building for their rule to work to rule type situation. It is not boding well for the City of Providence.
And Kobe, your view.
Yeah, I want to leave off where Dr. Robio just left off, work to rule. And a lot of the parents, which I've explained to them thousands of times, what it actually means. Because when you're on the ground, those are the calls that you get. So while I'm trying to take my own daughter to school today, my phone just kept on ringing because people are wondering why there's no teachers in the schoolyard. People are wondering why that they no longer can leave little Johnny, on the swing set by himself, with a teacher, because they're not getting out of their vehicles. That's what work to rule is. That's what's affected. All right, the second grader that was excited to see his teacher today, but had to wait until the time was to clock in. We need to sit down with these teachers and we need to come up with a resolution. Both sides need to play ball and realize what the goal of being a city servant is all about. It's about the people.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to go to our next question. This will start with...
Can I get that last question?
Of course. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Scott. So, part of the challenge that we have in our schools is that we've done the same thing year after year after year. We expect different results. When you look at urban education and you look at the results that we have here in Providence, we all know that our schools don't currently or historically have a stellar record of preparing our kids for the world that awaits them. And so the question is, are we going to do the exact same thing and expect different results? Or are we actually going to do what we bemoan the fact that leader after leader after leader of the city has never done? And that's make sure that we have something transformative that's demanded and expected out of a contract. Now, we all know that time on task matters. Our kids spend only 20% of their waking hours inside of a classroom. The other 80%, they're off in the community and the neighborhood. Yet we spend hundreds of millions of dollars in that 20%, and we spend peanuts in the 80%. We need to rebalance that so that regardless where our kids are, they have access to the learning tools that they need that prepares them for the world that awaits them. Now the reality is that we're facing massive deficits in our school department, something to the tune of about $30 million as it is over the next 4 years. I refuse to kick the can down the road. We need to tackle these issues head on, and I'm willing to give teachers raises if I believe that a raise would lead to dramatically increased outcomes and achievements in our kids. It will happen overnight. But we can't be naive to expect that suddenly, overnight, something miraculous will happen simply because they received a 1% raise.